And we're recording. Alright, so I am here to address a problem, a really big problem, a crisis, if I may, that will affect not just the big companies and businesses, but even ordinary people like you and me. We need to talk about the unsung hero of every single device you own, RAM.
कि कंप्यूटर को मेरा राम चला रहा है भाई।
Yeah. You've probably heard the term before, maybe when buying a new laptop or a smartphone. But to truly understand why the RAM market is in chaos, we first need to understand what it actually is. Think of your computer or your phone as a small office. This office has two main things, a filing cabinet and a desk. The filing cabinet is your storage, your hard drive or your SSD. This is where everything is kept, your photos, videos, apps, documents, all your localized data. It's huge and it holds information permanently, even when the power is off. It's your device's long term memory. Now, coming to the desk, this is your RAM, which stands for Random Access Memory. When you want to work on something, say edit a photo or browse a website, your computer can't work directly from the slow filing cabinets, going and accessing files again and again. It needs to pull a copy of that file and put it on the fast disk so the CPU, the brain, can access it immediately. RAM is essentially your device's short term memory or workspace. The bigger your disk, the more RAM you have, the more applications, files, and browser tabs you can juggle at the same time without things slowing down. Want to have 30 browser tabs open, stream music, and edit a massive video? You need a big disk. That almost came out wrong. This is the crucial difference. Storage holds data permanently, it's non volatile in nature. RAM holds your data temporarily while it's being used for a particular function, whatever you're doing. When you turn off your device, everything on the RAM disk is instantly wiped clean. Now we have to compare what PC RAM and smartphone RAM is. They are completely different. Of course, the size difference is quite visible right in front of our eyes in our daily lives. Now that we understand the concept, let's look at the different forms the RAM takes in the devices we use every day. Starting with your PC or laptop RAM, these modules, often called DIMMs, you don't have to worry about what that is. It's a technology you'll commonly see as DDR or double data rate. That's full form. Terms like DDR4, DDR5 is what we usually see in the consumer market when it comes to RAM. DDR4 5, the 4 5 is basically the generation. It doesn't have to be so important right now. The PC RAM prioritizes raw performance and upgradability. You can see all those computer builders you swap out RAMs. It's like a rectangle, quite thin. So it's for performance and upgradability. If your desk is too small, the RAM is too small, you can literally put out the old module and plug in a new one, increasing your workspace. Now, for the smartphone RAM, this is a different beast. It uses LPDDR, laptop and PCs, DDR, smartphones, LPDDR, which stands for low power double data rate. The LP here is the key difference, low power. The biggest priority here is power efficiency because, I mean, just look at this. This is tiny compared to an actual laptop or those big, massive PCs that we see every day. Sorry. LPDDRs are made for power efficiency, so they can help your phone's device battery last for an entire day. So you won't have to charge it every 2 hours like you have to do for your laptop a lot of the times. And to fit in a small compact phone like this, it needs to be directly soldered onto that main board. You cannot swap out a phone's RAM. Of course, you can't even access the battery these days. Back in the day, it used to be better. So, the essential takeaway here, PC RAM works on DDR, is about speed and upgradability for big jobs. Smartphone RAMs, LPDDR is about power efficiency and compactness for small little smartphones. Both are the working desk, but they are differently engineered for very different priorities. Now I'll give you some tech terms so you can understand things without having to go through Google again and again to try to understand what this term means, what that term. Some very simple and important terms I'll just tell you. So to truly understand the RAM market, you need to know three quick and easy terms, very necessary to understand. So you can sort of understand the value, price, and what the metrics are based on that. First, capacity. This is the easiest. It's the size of your disk measured in gigabytes or GB. We've seen 6 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, 12 GB, 16 GB. Now the crisis is where we see the biggest hit in the capacity coming up next year, 2026. So, first term that you remember, capacity. We come across it while you buy the devices all the time. Second, frequency. This is the speed of the RAM measured in megahertz or MHz as we write it in short. Think of it as how fast data is transferred to and from the CPU. Higher frequency means faster transfer speeds, which boosts your overall system responsiveness. How fast you can access goes to the CPU, comes back from the CPU, basically how it functions overall. Third, latency. This is the most technical but crucial. Gamers are well versed with this term. So, it is basically the delay between the CPU requesting data and the RAM delivering it. Imagine it as the time it takes for the worker to find a file on the desk and providing it to the CPU. Of course, lower latency is better. Gamers know this very well. So, capacity, frequency, latency. These three factors determine how responsive and powerful your device is. They are keys to understanding the quality and performance of any RAM module. So, to conclude, that's that's RAM, the volatile, essential, super fast workspace that keeps your entire digital life running smoothly. We now understand what RAM is and why we need it. Now the core metrics of capacity, frequency, latency, just reminding you again, are exactly what we pay for. But what happens when the global supply of these tiny crucial chips suddenly gets cut? In our next video, we will use this foundational knowledge to dissect the global RAM crisis, why the prices are skyrocketing, why the supply is drying up, and what it means for every single person who buys a new piece of technology. Make sure you keep a track of my upcoming videos so you can understand what exactly is going on, or you can go to some other professional who can explain it better. But I'm trying to simplify things as much as possible so anyone can understand what's going on in the market, because as I mentioned earlier, this crisis will hit every single person who tries to buy a new device. So stay updated. I'm gonna have my coffee now. Bye bye.